Greetings. At the risk of demeaning myself in front of all my great students, just wanted to point out in yesterday's class we were doing a problem I was asked to do at the spur of the moment, meaning I had not prepared to do it in front of the class. One of your fellow students volunteered to ask the question in an attempt to embarrass me, which did not fail. But I got through the numbers right. If you were there, you would have seen I got the numbers right. But the point of it is to say to you, if you read the problem carefully, which I did not, but if you read the problem carefully, so that's a key, you would have understood what I failed to do, and that is to recognize what exactly the transaction was. It was a very simple mistake, but it's one that is important for solving problems and emphasizing the point of reading what's going on and understanding what's going on so you can't miss. Because here's how it can't miss. In the beginning of the problem, it said that the company raised money by selling a bond. So that meant that they were going to get cash in. And when you get cash in, that definitely means that there's a debit to cash. That was a given. That was easy. So we knew we had to debit cash, and then the rest of it fell in place because we got a certain amount that we owed on the bond. Write it backwards. And that bond payable was a credit. And then whatever the difference was between the X and the Y was either a debit or credit. And you definitely want to know what to call the difference if it's a debit or a credit. Yes, in yesterday's case, it happened to be that it was a debit. So the Z was the debit balance to balance, and that would be considered the discount. Now, at the end of the problem, after crunching all the numbers right, and I want to emphasize this part, I did crunch all the numbers right. I got there. And then when push comes to shove to figure out the final part of the problem of gain or loss upon the retirement of the bond, that's what we were looking at, the retirement of the bond. I had not actually looked at the problem, and if I had looked at the problem or even thought about it, which is not easy to do when you're up at the front of the class, I would have recognized that the retirement of a bond, in this case a bond payable, the retirement of a bond payable means the opposite of where we started. Meaning we started over here where cash came in, see? And then when we retire the bond, it's cash going out to say to the bondholders, goodbye, we don't owe you anymore. So they're going to use cash to pay off the bond. That would be a bond payable debit at this point. And that's when we needed to come up with a gain or loss upon that transaction. And you definitely want to sort of understand the retirement of the bond concept and how that would work out. And in this case, since the retirement of the bond was midstream, based on market rates, there would have been, and there was, indeed, a gain or loss. If you were there, okay, so if you weren't there, I'll even put it here on this YouTube video for all the world to see. What I had done incorrectly is when I saw the word retirement of the bond, I'm thinking bond holder, like the investor. That was what I was thinking at the time. So when I was thinking the investor gets cash as the payout of the bond. So to the investor side, it was a debit, and that's what I was thinking about, which mixed it up between gain or loss upon the final payment of the bond, the retirement at that point. So I was looking at it from the wrong end, but I'm going to say it again, I had the right numbers. All right, if you have any questions, send me an email. I'm only good up until 6 o'clock today. So if you have questions for the quiz, I do my best up till 6 today.